inspired you to start this work? Like, how'd you get here? Like, who starts that?
Who does that? When I was in high school and in college, I always cared about social justice issues. I was a nonviolent student coordinator at the Martin Luther King Center for Nonviolent Social Change in Atlanta. And I had been trained in Dr. King's theories of social change and social justice, and I cared a lot about those issues. At that time, I was more focused on issues of race. That was my passion. When later, though, I had the opportunity to be of service in Africa. I was there for Baha'i service. And there, my eyes were opened to inequalities of women that I hadn't been sensitized to here in the United States. You know, abuse of women happens behind closed doors in the United States. And so unless you are feeling that personally, you may not be sensitized, I think, to it so much in the United States. But in Africa, it was not so behind closed doors. It was quite public. I saw men beating their wives in public. And I was exposed to female genital mutilation. I first learned what that was when I was there. And so that experience shifted me, and it caused me to have an interest in that issue. And so when I was in law school, I wrote a paper on whether or not you could receive asylum or refugee status in the United States because of a practice known as female genital mutilation. As fate would have it, in the summer of my second year of law school, I worked for an attorney who had been hired by the cousin of a young woman who had just fled from West Africa. And she was fleeing female genital mutilation in a forced marriage. And he saw on my resume that I had written a paper and that was being published in a law journal on this subject. So of course my examination of it was entirely academic, but now there was a real woman and a real case. And so I had the bounty of representing her and the honor of being able to turn what was an academic argument into a real legal argument on her behalf. I represented her and argued her case before the immigration judge. We lost. I then took the case on appeal to my law school, American University Law School, where there an army of law professors and law students, and I also continued to help on the case. And there her case climbed to the highest immigration appellate court in the United States. And it was at that level that her case received a lot of media attention, and she won. And she became the first woman in the United States to receive refugee status because of female genital mutilation, or more particularly, because of a form of gender-based violence. Up until her case, refugee law did not accept gender-based violence, clearly, as a grounds for asylum. And so because of the media attention in the case, there was commercial interest in her story of escape, in my story of helping her as a law student. And so she and I wrote a book together, and I used my portion, all of my portion of the proceeds from the book to start the Tahirih Justice Center. So that's how it got started.
So we were gonna close with marriage.
Marriage.
Marriage is what brings us together today.